Hi, I'm Eli Brosh, head of AI research in Wix, and with me I have Gilad Barkan, who is leading the data science guild at Wix, and I had the pleasure of working with him for the last 4 years. Gilad, maybe you can start by telling me a little bit about your personal journey at Wix.
Sure, Eli. Hi, I'm Gilad. I joined Wix 6.5 years ago. Back then, the data science at Wix was a very small team, mostly data scientists. We were focused on projects, on traditional machine learning projects. Today, we are a much more mature group with about 70 people. In addition to the data scientists, we have MLOps teams of engineers, we have data ops teams of labeling and curation.
So that's really great. So what does the data science group in Wix do?
Sure. Look, we both know Wix is a huge candy shop for AI. Our group specifically builds the AI capabilities across Wix for a very big variety of projects. Just name a few of them. AI site generator that automatically build your website, AI assistant to manage your business, optimization for customer care operations. We have a very big group of customer experts that answers users answers and help users in their problems, automatic photo editing features, and many more. So you can imagine that we have here everything. We have NLP, computer vision, time series, forecasting, reinforcement learning, and mostly today is about GenAI.
That's cool. So maybe you can talk a little bit about, this revolution happened, this new era of GenAI started in, I guess, November 2022. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, our role and the way we operated back then was completely disrupted by this GenAI evolution. And I don't think we are special here, like the whole industry. That's what happened in the whole industry. Before November 2022, we were knocking on internal customers' doors here. Hey, come on and collaborate and let's work together to embed AI in your projects. It was very difficult. Now I can say we call it like the AI, the incubation phase of AI at Wix. In these 5 years prior to this GenAI evolution, we built all our foundations, both in terms of the organization that I told you and the infrastructure, technological infrastructure. We built a ML platform, machine learning platform to orchestrate and experiment and deploy machine learning models into production. So you can understand that the moment that this big bang moment caught us in a very good shape, with all the foundations needed to instantially doing an impact of this new technology of the GenAI. I think companies that were already or just starting their AI journey in November 2022, they couldn't make an impact, or for sure such an immediate impact, because it takes time. For us, it took several years to build these solid foundations, and luckily us, when this moment came, we were really ready for that.
Wow, that's super interesting. So maybe you can give an example how you use these foundations, these infrastructure pieces that you built to help you leverage GenAI applications.
Sure. So one example I like is semantic search technology. This is a modern search technology that we, back then in 2019, already back then, we realized that this is a core component for Wix. There are different places at Wix that you have search options there. And we realized that this modern technology of using semantics should be a core component. And we build the infrastructure, vector DBs, best practices, and already deployed in all of Wix different places of search. We deployed this technology. And then the GenAI came, and this technology is basically the technology used for RAG application. which are one of the most common patterns, design patterns in the GenAI, but it's a very complex pipeline. So if you just try to start doing it takes you time. And we were already ready for this with everything in place and in production already. So it took us like no time to run or to build an AI applications based on RAG.
So I remember with this new era of AI just started, there was a lot of discussions and a lot of decisions that you needed to make. How to adapt this technology. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, I will split my answer into two levels. Okay, on the Wix level, on the company level, the first decision made by the management was let it go the Wix way. And what I mean by Wix way is basically jungle mode. Okay, it was a completely new and disruptive technology. No one really knew what it is, and the management took a decision to take it bottom up. Let the people experience with this technology, and let's see what they come up with. Practically, what we did is we stopped the company for one day. 5,000 employees company. We stopped the company and had a hackathon, and letting people experience with this technology. Second, I think interesting decision management did is no limits. Okay, let the people experience with this technology with no money limits. Calling the API, give everyone API keys, and let them just experiment it. I remember the moment. I remember this morning after the hackathon, we woke up and saw a huge bill because someone ran a script that in the night that generated images and thousands of images. And DALL-E back then was really, really, really costly. So this is the way it worked, and that's how in terms of in the Wix level, that's how the whole company just jumped on this new opportunity.
Yeah, I remember that period as well. It was really, really hectic, but also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I remember having discussions with data scientists and researchers about what does it mean? Like now you have these pre-trained models, they already have a broad range of capabilities, and how does that impact the role of a data scientist in this new era? So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so yeah, great. So this is the second level on the data science level of the new role of the data scientist. And the GenAI revolution, I think we are not unique here. The whole industry, really, this GenAI revolution really moved the cheese, as we say, for data scientists everywhere. Suddenly, everyone, not only data scientists, could develop AI-powered applications. So it was a real identity crisis for data scientists out there. And each data scientist asks herself, who am I? What is my new role now? That was a real crisis, okay? And we had to take a decision here and to understand who are we, data scientists at Wix. And we understood we are still different than all others. We call it like we are the AI creators and all others are the AI users of this technology. Okay, and out of this self-definition or new self-definition of ourselves, we ask ourselves, okay, so what is the value that we can bring now to Wix? And the way we think about it now, we ran in a two orthogonal axis. One is a vertical one, and one is a horizontal one.
Okay, so this is really interesting because I'm not that familiar with these terms. So what does that mean actually? What does it mean? Vertical, horizontal?
Yeah, horizontal axis is the scaling of AI at Wix.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we became the enablers at Wix that made it possible for 1,500 developers potentially to develop AI applications in a platformized way with Wix full stack. So although it was only OpenAI in the beginning that was available to use the API, we understood that it will take really, really fast to scale that it will be a battle here, and that all the big giants like Google will run into this race. And we built a platform, or back then it was a gateway to every optional future vendor. Okay, this gateway generated an immediate exponential growth of development of AI at Wix. It was amazing. I think a year and a half after now, today, this gateway turned into a full-fledged platform with a lot of functionalities. It has its own model garden of 90 different models from all vendors. We have prompt management, executing thousands of prompts. Only in 2024, we had more than 1 billion invocations. We have evals, automatic evals there. We have RAG as a service. You name it.
Wow, that's really cool. And sounds like you adapted to this technology pretty well and like building these cool platforms.
Yeah. So that was the horizontal axis of making all Wix or scaling AI at Wix, and making, I think that was the thing that made eventually Wix an AI first company. That scaling of this technology in a big company, I think that was our impact here and our contribution.
And you mentioned this vertical aspect, right? So
Right.
this means that we're going deep into the application as well, not just working on scaling it across Wix.
Exactly. So the vertical axis is going deeper into the research. Okay, luckily us, we have the resources. In this company, we have the resources to dig deeper into the technologies and the applications, and we became much more research oriented. Okay, we have a smooth transition to research oriented data scientist profile, and we want to be in the front line, okay, of this industry, of website building industry. And to be in the front line, you need to have your best people. And you need to allocate resources for doing, not the regular things, but the cutting edge. And we have our own unique use cases, okay, that you will elaborate much more afterwards, okay. But if you are a PhD, okay, and you want to do a big impact on the products, or to do research that will face afterwards hundreds of millions of users, so come to us, because we are hiring.
That sounds like a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Come, work on future-looking technologies, and you can create, and you can actually deploy those technologies as part of a product and make impact that touches millions of people.
I think. Look, I've been working for 25 years, something like this, with six. I think Wix is the sixth company that I worked with. Wix is nowadays a huge opportunity, okay, for AI in general, but for data scientists, because of this mix of this horizontal impact across Wix and a vertical deep research, which we are the data scientists. That's what we really like. So I think we are in a huge, in a very unique opportunity, moment today at Wix for data scientists. Eli, I remember this moment of the demo of OpenAI of the GPT-4 when they presented a napkin drawing, converting it into a working website. And everyone thought this is the end of companies like Wix. So now, in the perspective, is it true?
So first of all, I have to say, I think it was a really, really cool demo that demonstrated the power of the technology. Mm-hmm. But if you think a little bit about this, actually building a landing page and building a fully working websites are two different things. Like a fully working website is a complex piece of software that is composed of millions of lines of code. And it actually has to support a lot of pieces of functionality, right? You need to be able to update your content. You need to be able to do marketing campaigns. You need to be able to do SEO. If you have a store, you want to manage inventory. And there's a lot of other things you need to have in this website to be able to manage your online presence, right? But I think what was interesting about this demo that it actually highlighted or showed one of the key challenges that our users have is basically, I want to build a website, but how do I write compelling content?
Yeah.
Which images should I put in this website? And how do I package, the text, the images, the functional parts like the buttons or the menus or the forms into something that has a cohesive design and has the right style and theme that is aligned with my brand. So, in fact, I think what this demo showed was like that it's not trivial to build such complex systems. And I think if you actually take these GenAI capabilities and integrate them into the Wix website building platform and the experiences we provide, it's a really great fit because you can really simplify, like if you have the right tools, you can really simplify the process of content creation and in fact allow people to build a fully working website that is visually pleasing within like a few minutes.
Yeah, that's actually an amazing fit for Wix. So you made it happen. You deployed such kind of AI projects. Can you share from your experience about this development of GenAI features?
Right. So I think we started this pretty early on. We built something which we call the text creator, which is basically a writing assistant embedded within the Wix building platform. And it's basically a cool feature where somebody that wants to write a paragraph or a title can click the AI magic button. The system will ask him a few questions, and then magically it will generate the right content of high quality and that is really personalized to what the site is about. And I think like it was a very interesting experience because it was our first time working with these large language models. So they have, they're pre-trained, they have broad range of capabilities. You can instruct them very easily just by writing prompts. And this allowed us to do really fast demos and POCs, so you can do rapid prototyping.
But I remember you were really early adopters. It was even when did you launch it?
That's true. Actually, when we launched this feature, it was even before ChatGPT. It was around at the end of 2022, and we actually were using this thing called GPT 3.0, and only later we switched to the ChatGPTs and GPT 3.5. Yeah. But what I also recall is that it was super easy to get to a demo or something that looks like it's working, but then the process of actually turning this into something that we can go into production took us much longer than we expected. We had to spend time on refining the prompts and doing a lot of testing and just in general ensuring that the results that we're getting are at the right quality and a good fit to the user experience.
And the challenge of production, what does it mean, production?
Yeah, well, when we talk about production, so this is, I think, one of the most interesting parts of working in Wix is that Wix has a massive scale. So basically operating at this scale means that you have to, when you're building these AI tools, you have to deliver high quality results, but also in a consistent way. And the experiences have to be, pretty seamless. And also the other interesting thing is that you really, like if you want to build these features and make them successful, you have to really understand the user intent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to generate the content in the way that it's aligned with what with the goal of what the user has. So I think this is also one of the biggest challenges that we had to face.
Eli, I want more than that. You were the one that built this product, and it's such not a trivial thing. It started from this small AI text creator tool, but now it's a full-fledged solution of building a website with AI. So walk us through with the examples, with this evolution.
Okay, so today we have a full-blown AI site builder that integrated into Wix. And this is actually the first thing that a new user that onboards into Wix sees. So when a new user comes to Wix, there's a virtual assistant that has a free-form conversation with the user and tries to understand what is the business about, what's the intent, what kind of functionality do you need for the business. And after it got that, it actually automatically designs the website and offers a hyper-personalized site already with the content to the user. But all this magic actually started with this simple AI writing assistant. So initially, we started with this writing assistant that worked at the component level, right? So it helped you to write text for the titles or for paragraphs. And then we actually increased the scope and said, okay, why don't we do the same thing for a section or for a page? And when you do it for a page, you start to see kind of new challenges. So first of all, you want the content to be consistent across the multiple text elements you're generating, but also you want everything to have the same style, and you don't want to have repetitions, and there's a lot of other things. In parallel to that, what we did was we worked on tools for image creation and editing, right? So you can have state-of-the-art solutions for generating high-quality images. And then at the end, what we did is we kind of took all of these capabilities and fused them together. So basically, like what you want to do is offer something that at the end generates cohesive, fully functional website, but also one that is really visually appealing and looks great. And you want to make sure that there is kind of a unified design language. So you have like a clear theme, you have a style, and everything is aligned with the brand and the intent of the user.
That's really, really challenging and really impressive, I think, and we can see the results in our product. But like we said, GenAI is a magic. It's kind of a magic, but it has a lot of challenges and risks along the way. So I think it would be really, really helpful for people to hear about these challenges and the mitigations. How did we mitigate these kind of challenges and risk into our product?
Yeah, so I think this is was one of the, with every new technology, there's risks and challenges, but here it's not only a new technology, it's something that is continuously evolving. And, when we started, and even at this time, it's not yet fully predictable. And the other challenges is that we have lots and lots of developers in Wix, but they're kind of classical software engineers, and they're not familiar with the machine learning development cycle. So this makes integrating all these AI capabilities into products even much harder. And I think one of the things that we did was, based on all these experiences that we had of building GenAI features, we created what we call the quality playbook. Okay, so we created this playbook that would allow us, a set of best practices that would allow us to build successful GenAI products, right? So if you think a little bit about this, you really need to have great testing and validation process. So while before you actually go to production, you want to build a POC. So you need to create this thing called the test set. And you don't want this test set to include only these simple, what we call happy flow cases. You actually want to include their corner cases and challenging examples, something that will try to mimic what kind of data this product will meet in the real world. The other thing that is really important is having the right metrics, or what we call evals, right? So we need
this is something that engineers don't really know about, right? They know about tests, don't know about evaluations.
Right, and I think this is one of the biggest challenges when you want to adopt machine learning methodologies into GenAI software development, and the importance of this is also, first of all, you need to be able to measure your performance. So this is really, really important. But and you need to make sure that the metrics that you're using are also very much aligned with the KPI of the business. And if you do it right, this can be a great indication, right? So you measure the performance of your POC, and this can be a great indication: are you ready or not ready to go into production? And of course, there is also about, you need to choose the right model. And choosing the right model is not only about the quality of the results you're getting, it's also about cost, throughput, latency, and many, many other factors. And like you mentioned, I think
It's not about tooling as well, right?
Yeah, it's also
To supply the tools for the
right.
for
So
the
if
people,
you
for the
so
developers.
correct. So initially we had all of these best practices, and then the thought was, okay, let's start to build tooling and platforms. And once you take all of these best practices and kind of put them into a single platform, you can actually accelerate the adoption of Gen AI and accelerate the pace at which people develop it. So, like I think you said, we have this great Gen AI platform that has multiple models that you can select from. It manages your prompt. It also manages your data sets, and it supports evals. So basically, you can write a prompt. You can let the system, you can upload the data set, or you can ask the system, generate me some synthetic data set, apply it on the prompt, and see what's the performance of your system. So,
I think another very challenging thing is about LLMs and Gen AI. It's about controlling the LLMs, right? This is one for me. It's one of the most challenging things today. So share, like, how did you do that in these
yeah.
use cases?
So this is something that I think a lot of people kind of find surprising. So first of all, we're talking about statistical models, right?
Right.
So, and these are models that even if you give them the same input and you control something called the temperature, the amount of randomness, for the same inputs, you might get different outputs.
Yes.
And the other thing that these models can do is what we call hallucinations, right? These models can just return, can just lie or just give
With high confidence.
yeah, lie in high confidence, or give just unpredictable
Exactly.
results. And what makes things even harder is when you have these conversational experiences, right? And then basically you have a user, and this user can type in the input anything that they want, right? And then how do you plan for that? Because it's super easy to get a drift, for the system to drift and go off topic, especially as the conversation progresses, right? And especially because you're referencing previous messages.
So what did you do there?
So there are a couple of things that you can actually do. So a lot of that is in the interplay of user experience and the technology. So, for example, one thing that you can do, that we do with our onboarding assistant, so this assistant that onboards new users to Wix, is instead of letting the users ask questions, we actually set up the assistant or the agent to guide them throughout the conversation. So we are actually asking them the right questions
And extracting the information
and
from
extracting
them.
the information from them. So this really
So you
helps.
basically flipped the direction of the conversation, right?
Right, and this allows us to steer
Yeah.
this process, or to steer this agentic flow in the right direction. And the other thing that we do as we ask questions, we show, like in parallel to the conversation, side by side, we show also what have we understood from the user, right? So we understood that the user is interested in building this type of website. It should include this functionality. It has these kind of brand values, and this really helps users to focus and to give you the right answers.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Let's talk about the future.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the biggest issue that everyone today is bothered about is, will AI replace humans? Or whether it would be our assistant. So what is your take? What is your take on this?
So again, this is, when we talk about the future, it's really hard to predict the future,
Yeah.
as we all know. But this is my own personal take. But I think AI will be actually something that augment human intelligence, right? So if you have these AI tools and they're operating under human supervision, so it actually becomes a tool that allows us to do more things, so things at larger scale. It allows us to do things faster and allows us to do things better. And I think even now we're seeing more and more of these. Also in the enterprise, we're seeing more cases of where you incorporate these AI solutions into our workflows, right? So one thing is, for example, the way software development is done these days. So these days, a programmer doesn't have to write all the code by itself. It actually can come in, set up the right write the spec that they want, describe the architecture that they want, and let the AI actually write the detailed code for you. Another use case that happens a lot is in customer care, where you can have the AI answer these common repetitive questions and let humans handle the more complex cases that require this kind of that require this human touch. And I think in general, like this partnership, right? If you combine the creativity and the human supervision with the power of AI solutions, you'll get creative solutions, but you also get the speed and the efficiency of the AI.
So I like this term of partnership between the human and the AI. So what is your take about the assistant and the agents that everyone like talking about? That how it will take shape how it will be shaped in the future, or in the view, especially in Wix.
Right. So I think what we're starting to see is, so we're currently in this phase of AI assistant. So we come in, we have a simple conversation, a short-lived conversation with the assistant, and that's it. And at least the way that I think about it is that we're going to see much more long-lived conversations, right? So the AI will become kind of a partner in our business operations, right? So like the way that I think the AI solutions, the AI agents are going to evolve to, they're not just going to respond to individual user queries. They'll try to anticipate what we need, right? They'll be able to arrange these complex workflows and basically actively support these long-term goals that we have. So they can actually come up with suggestions on how to do things at various points in time, rather than just being activated whenever the user has a conversation. And the other thing that you can do is, I think that the other thing is about memory, right? So if you have AI agents that can remember past conversations, right? So they can actually improve the responses, they can improve the outcomes that they're providing.
They will learn us, right?
Yeah.
They will learn us. Like they will understand everything about us.
Yeah, they will understand everything, and they'll be able to give you as they work more with us, they'll be able to give you more intelligent answers and more personalized answers.
Yeah.
And
about Wix specifically.
Yeah, so I think in Wix it's a very natural place to see this evolution. So the way, at least that I think about it, is that intelligent agents will allow users and will basically partner with the users along their full journey of building a website, right? And managing their website, starting from creating content, designing your website, optimizing SEO, and then maybe moving towards more about updating the content and basically ensuring that you have seamless business operations for the user.
That seems really good fit for us here at Wix, right?
Yeah, but I was also wondering, like this evolution of assistants and agents, and we all think that this is going to become a reality pretty soon in the next few years. But how will this affect like Wix, right? Like if we're talking about these agents, right? How will websites look in this new era of AI agents?
Yeah, websites, it's our business, right? So I think AI agents are the future medium between humans and the data out there, whether it will be an organization data, whether it's internet data. Humans will navigate themselves in this worldwide digital ecosystem via their assistant, via their AI assistant. If an organization wants to optimize the interaction between these AI assistant and its own data, he needs to do something which is very radically and very dramatically, and transform its data to be the so-called LLM-friendly. Okay, all the organization data, current existing organization data, was originally generated and meant for and optimized to be consumed by humans. Now, it's turned like this data need to be optimized for LLMs. Okay, and it's not the case, and there should be some transformation here. Okay, it needs to convert the data from English to LLM-ish. Okay, so LLM can understand this data much better. So this is basically a shout out for companies leaders, CIOs, CDOs. Just took the organization into digital transformation. Now they need to do another transformation of their data to try to start and speak LLM-ish. So the LLMs would interact with this data in the best way. I can share that we just finished a research here at Wix. We conducted a research that proved that for applications of question answering based on looking at articles of support articles, our help center articles, which is a public data set, okay, and public data, we proved that if you convert these articles that were originally, or they are meant for humans, if you convert them to speak LLM-ish and to be LLM-friendly, it outperforms like the performance of these LLMs on this new transformed
So it's
knowledge
about,
base.
so it's about taking your data, and specifically your website data, and making it LLM friendly. So LLMs
Right.
can basically understand it much better, and if they can understand it much better, you can ask smarter questions about it and get much better replies, right?
Right, and I think if an organization, any website organization wants their LLMs to perform better, they need to do this transformation. And I think future websites will be agents by themselves, exposing LLM-friendly APIs to other agents. Now we see like it's a very there is now it's a really hot topic now. There is Perplexity, there is Google Gemini, there is now OpenAI just launched their search, and now the new tool called Operator. It's exactly this. Together, these agents will form the new worldwide web of agents, and that's how they will communicate between themselves. So again, this friendlyfying AIing your data and make it more LLM friendly, I think it's a crucial step any organization need to take, and that's what we are already doing here at Wix.
Wow, that's super cool. And I'm looking forward to see this world where you have your own personal agent talking with the website or the merchant's agents, and they're talking between them and doing the work for you. I think it's a very interesting future. Gilad, it was great talking to you.
Amazing, Eli.
Yeah, I think we're out of time, but I would love to do this again.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Thanks.